like this for the past 45 minutes.
How long we been here?
I don't know.
Exactly. So how you gonna say it wasn't dark?
Because I've been outside the whole time.
But how long you don't know how long we been here to say it ain't been dark?
I can go and look, but I'm not standing in front of
this man. Right, you're gonna back your boys in blue. You're gonna back your boys in blue, man. This is always going on. I know you are, man. Man, this is always going on. I know you are, man.
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abiyah Israel, former police officer and former sheriff's deputy. All right, Pennsylvania v. Mimms. We see police officers use this court case all the time. Actually, it's their go-to. They love Pennsylvania v. Mimms because they can ask you to step out of the car. And when they ask you or order you to step out of the car, maybe they can find something else. It helps their fishing expedition. So therefore, they love this case. But do they really use it wrong? Or are some of the drivers actually using this case wrong as well? I want to look into that a little bit more. I want to show you guys this video because I do think that both parties kind of get this case a little bit on the wrong side, and we want to be a little bit more accurate. So I want to go through this video and just detail out some things for you really quickly. But before we get to that, I want to read this email, and I actually released a poll on this channel earlier this morning concerning this email that I received from a viewer. Let me read it really quickly. This email comes from Gary. He says, "Hey dude, thank you for doing what is right. One question though, if government knows of recording and auditing, why hasn't there been a memo or reminder that recording in public is fine and they are at the scrutiny of the public? I see people in 2024 still not understanding basic rights, but the government does nothing to inform their employees. Thanks." Well, Gary, again, I released a poll on this channel asking, the viewers, what do you think? Do you think auditing and cop watching has helped police officers to learn not to violate our rights? And I'm really, after about 24 hours, to see how many people, where the votes stand on that one. Okay, but Gary, it really depends. I would say a lot of these departments, it's pride, it's ego. I'm not going to tell my officers anything. You're not going to run the show. You're not in charge. We're in charge. We're not informing anybody of anything. But then you do have there have been some who have watched these videos. They've watched the auditing and cop watching movement, and they have learned. I'm one of those police officers that learned from this community. Okay. Now, I do firmly believe that there's a choice to be made if you're a police officer. Now, I'll just be honest, and many officers might not like this. I really don't care, but I'll be honest. If you're a police officer for 30 years and then all of a sudden you have a conscience, then to me, that's a lie. Okay. All right. That's a lie. I can't see an officer being an officer more than 6-7 years, 8 max. And that's a long time. Okay. And the reason I say even that at that period, because there is a process. Okay. It is a career. It is how you pay your bills. It is how you buy food to eat. But you have to decide, okay, am I going to do what's right or am I going to do what's wrong? And there is a long process of other officers attempting to bully you if you're not conforming to the way that they do things. And when I say bully, I don't necessarily mean, trying to grab you and jack you up on the wall, although that has happened. Read my book if you haven't. Those type of things happen. But bullying in several different ways, shutting you out, making you feel less than, trying to isolate you, trying to make you feel horrible or simply like a piece of trash because you won't conform to their ways. And if you find yourself going through that process, most likely you're doing the right thing on the job. But the question is, how long are you going to stay there to allow that to continue to happen? Most people, including myself, say, I'm done with this because I'm not going to conform to what you want me to be. So therefore, I need to find a new field of work. But after 30 years, I don't think anybody could put up with that for 20, 30 years and still be a police officer. Why? It goes back to your question, Gary, about pride and ego. They're not going to change it. It's just the way it is. We have some change, but we have most that are not. But anyway, thanks, Gary, for the email. Let's jump into this video. Leave your thoughts down below.
Pennsylvania versus Mimms states.
Man, I got something better than that. I already looked it up. I already got the laws. I ain't know if I ain't committed no crime, if I'm not being detained or under arrest for no reason, you cannot get me out this car to do nothing. I'm not the traffic stop. I'm being detained. So I'm being detained.
You in the car that got stopped?
I'm being detained. Okay, so the car being detained. You're gonna detain me for what? The passenger?
Because you are a passenger in the car.
Right. Okay. What crime is being committed? That you detaining me? What? I know the law, man. I know it. I know it.
because I just quoted to you.
Man,
Please look it up.
can Kentucky pull you out the car without a crime?
Pennsylvania v.
Man, it's gonna pop up, man. I know that law.
Supreme Court Justice.
You
ruling
right, and you can't
that
pull no
rules any state
This
law,
man
bro.
gonna sit here and tell me you can violate somebody's rights by pulling them out the car and
not
searching them.
violating if it's
What
a
you gonna pull me
Supreme
out and search me? Violate? What they say? The rule is
Nobody's
what?
asking you to pull you out.
You
to
just
search
told me to get out the car, and I told you I don't want to.
Yes, I
Because you want to show me something. I don't want to. Nothing you want to show me. I'm trying to. I want to make a complaint about what this officer doing.
I'm listening to you.
And you trying to tell me what's not going. I'm trying to explain to you what's going on.
Stop for a headlight.
We was pulled over. It was daylight, so how is it lawful?
You can pull it to your driveway. We can still pull you over.
I'm saying broad daylight. Broad daylight with no lights out, you required to be in.
Broad daylight because it's been dark like this for the past 45 minutes.
How long we been here?
I don't know.
Exactly. So how you gonna say it wasn't dark?
Because I've been outside the whole time.
But how long you don't know how long we been here to say it ain't been dark?
I could go and look, but I'm not standing in front of
This man, right, you're gonna back your boys in blue. You're gonna back your boys in blue, man. This is how it's going on. I know you are, man. Man, this is how it's going on. I know you are, man.
I'm sure you heard it the same way I heard it. He said, you're gonna back your guys in blue. And then the officer responds with, yes, I am, because I took an oath, clearly showing he's confused on what the oath was really for. It wasn't for you to back the department or any officer violating the rights of citizens. It was for you to uphold the Constitution, like we already know. But next thing I really want to point out as well is showing why it is so important to know your state laws. And each state may vary. So make sure you know your state laws, because if you don't, then you have officers who could possibly use this against you. For example, Georgia headlight requirements. Georgia has two separate code sections concerning headlights. The first section, OCGA 40-6-20, details when you are required to have your headlights on. Georgia requires headlights to be used in the following situations. Georgia law requires headlights to be on in these circumstances: from 30 minutes after sunset to 30 minutes before sunrise, anytime it's raining, any other time when there is not sufficient visibility to render clearly discernible persons for at least 500 feet. Types of weather conditions where you are unable to see 500 feet in front of you may include fog, snow, smoke, sleet, and heavy rain. Please note that 30 minutes before or after sunset are times when we may think there is enough light, but under Georgia law, you could still receive a ticket. In addition, the phrase "when there is not sufficient visibility to render clearly discernible persons" can be interpreted in different ways. And this expert opinion comes from the law office of Richard S. Lawson. And what he's saying is the way the law is written, these cops they have what I guess their opinions or their discernment on what they can do. So you must be really careful. And what this cop is trying to do is say, your headlights were not on in the proper time, meaning that it's kind of dark out here. All right. It's kind of dark, and it's up to my interpretation to say whether your headlights are on in time or not. It's confusing, but the reason I'm pointing this out is because it's not something you can argue on the side of the road. This would be something you would have to fight in court if you guys have cops that stop you that are being this petty. Now, granted, I'm not giving the cop an excuse. I'm trying to warn you that certain statutes are written in certain ways that will give cops an excuse. So you guys just need to be careful. Now, that's not the primary point of this video, but I did want to point that out. Let's keep watching, and we're going to see how that the passenger and also the police officer, they're both using Pennsylvania v. Mimms incorrectly. But let's keep watching.
When they're right, to protect the Constitution, right? To protect the Constitution, right? Man, I just told you, man, it was broad daylight out.
If you have a complaint, you can go down to 1.
I already did. It's gonna be extra to it. I need your name and badge number 2 for my FOIA request. I got that.
Can you
We know that. I know that. Yeah, you know the police is the slave. We need your name and badge number. Name and badge number, please. Yeah, name and badge number. You a fuck what y'all talking about, dick sucker? We need names and badge numbers for everybody interacting with us. I'm talking about Mimms versus Pennsylvania. Man, you ain't talking about shit since screaming some Mimms versus Pennsylvania. Yeah, you got the right to pull me out the car for no crime. What the fuck wrong with you? They think a motherfucker stupid, man. Cause I'm very educated. Very educated.
Afternoon. This is your official
warning. If you don't get the headlight fixed, you're going to receive a citation next time. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, drive safely.
All right, have a good
Yeah, we did. It's over with.
Have a good day.
All right, they park the car. I'm gonna get out.
So here's one of those things that really bug me about YouTube, other than their heavy censorship of my channel. What bugs me about YouTube is the misinformation. There's a lot of information that circulates around YouTube, and it could be accurate, or it could be inaccurate, or it could be in between, some true, some false. But it's up to us to find out how true or how false these things really are. And what I want to do right now concerning the case that we kept hearing, Pennsylvania versus Mimms, I want to really read what the outcome of the case was. First, what the case was actually about, and what was the outcome. Now, mind you, these are not my words. These are copy and pasted, and I'm going to read them as they are. So you may agree, you may not agree, but let's read what happened during this case. Pennsylvania v. Mimms. This case arose when two Philadelphia police officers pulled over the defendant, Harry Mimms, for driving with an expired license plate. After asking Mimms to exit the car, the officers noticed an unusual bulge underneath his jacket. One of the officers searched Mimms and discovered a loaded .38 caliber revolver. Mimms was charged with carrying a concealed deadly weapon and unlawfully carrying a firearm without a license. He was convicted on both counts at trial after his motion to suppress the revolver was denied. On appeal, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court reversed the conviction, holding that the officer's request for Mimms to exit the vehicle was an unlawful seizure in violation of the Fourth Amendment. According to the court, the officer could not point to any objective observable facts to support a suspicion that criminal activity was afoot, or that the occupants of the vehicle posed a threat to police safety, sufficient to warrant ordering Mimms to step out of the car. Therefore, the officer should never have noticed the bulge and the search should never have taken place. Question: do police officers violate the Fourth Amendment's prohibition against unlawful search and seizures when, during a routine traffic stop, they obtain evidence through a search conducted after asking the suspect to exit the vehicle without a justifiable reason to do so? In a 6-3 per curiam decision, the court held that the search did not violate Mimms' rights under the Fourth Amendment. The court noted that the officers had already detained Mimms in order to issue him a traffic summons and felt that asking him to exit the vehicle was a minimal and reasonable intrusion of his freedom. Whether the search occurred inside or outside the car was irrelevant to the court. The officers had stopped Mimms for a legitimate reason, and upon observing the bulge in his jacket, any person of reasonable caution would have conducted the search. Justice Thurgood Marshall wrote a dissenting opinion, arguing that such searches, in order to conform to the requirements of the Fourth Amendment, must relate to the reason for the stop. Because the officers had detained Mimms for an expired license plate, searching him for concealed weapons was not within the scope of the stop, and therefore made it an unlawful search. Justice John Paul Stevens, joined by Justices Williams, Brennan, and Thurgood Marshall, filed a separate dissent arguing that the majority opinion gave too much discretion to police officers, allowing them to search detainees whenever they could invent any basis for concern. So here we have it. 3 of the justices felt that this decision was too broad. It gives cops too much wiggle room to make something up to simply get a driver out of the vehicle and just simply search him. So they didn't agree with this particular outcome. But unfortunately, this is the outcome of what the majority justices chose. So with that being said, I know a lot of people say, well, no, it has to be for officer safety. Well, what the other 3 justices stated is that this decision is so broad that cops can pretty much get you out for anything. All right. I can always say I'm in fear of my life and hey, get out of the car. And sometimes I might not even say that, right? Just to get you out of the car because I'm a tyrant and this is the way I'm operating. This is what police officers are doing. And this is what 3 of the justices warned against. So in this particular video, we see the officer stating, Pennsylvania v. Mimms, I need you to step out of the car. Well, why do I say the driver or the passenger and the officer got it wrong? Because Pennsylvania v. Mimms was talking more about the driver, but there is a case where the passenger was ordered to step out of the car, but it wasn't Pennsylvania v. Mimms. Let's read this. Maryland v. Wilson. After a Maryland state trooper stopped the car in which he was riding, a nervous Wilson was ordered to step out. As he did, a quantity of cocaine fell to the ground. When arrested for possession with intent to distribute, Wilson challenged the manner in which the evidence against him was obtained. After the Baltimore County Circuit Court ruled to suppress the evidence against Wilson, Maryland appealed to the Maryland Court of Special Appeals, which affirmed the Supreme Court granted Maryland certiorari. Question: did Maryland State Trooper violate the Fourth Amendment search and seizure guarantee, ordering Wilson, a mere passenger in the suspect vehicle, to exit the car during a traffic stop? The courts held no. The court held that after lawfully stopping a speeding vehicle, an officer may order its passengers to step out. While burdening their personal liberty somewhat, officers must be permitted such authority over passengers if the overriding government's interest in officer safety is to be protected. Again, I don't necessarily agree with these outcomes, but I'm telling you what the court stated. Maryland v. Wilson is stating that a passenger, yes, you can be ordered to step out. All right. You may not have committed a crime, but according to what we just read, copied and pasted, not my own words, according to what we just read, that the courts gave officers this authority to help them somewhat protect officer safety. I get it. BS, officer safety. Pennsylvania versus Mimms. The driver can be ordered to step out of the car. You can't sit there and argue back and forth with the officer. That is not the place to do this on the side of the road. I understand. I haven't committed a crime. You pulled me over for a license plate. Now you're trying to get me out of the car, and one thing's going to lead to the next, and we understand how this goes. But you have to be smart about this. It's like a pretextual stop, okay? A cop stops you for something very minute, something you may not even have known that was illegal, but he's doing that to try and start his fishing campaign to find something else. But you can't fall for the tricks of the police officers. Why am I addressing this particular matter? Because there's going to be so many people who will watch a video and they're going to argue this case on the side of the road. And in certain situations, they may win and they may go away happily ever after. In other situations, it may be more of a tyrannical cop who says, no, I do have this authority and I'm going to get you out of the car. And that situation may not end as well as someone else's may have. And so I just want everybody to be understanding and accurate when they're quoting the laws as far as Pennsylvania v. Mimms or Maryland v. Wilson. Can the officer force me to get out of the car or can he not? Well, according to the courts, they can. So if you're going to argue with them on the side of the road, you can find yourself in a fight with the police officer. You can find yourself being arrested, taser, or worse. And that's what I don't want to see happen to anyone. Okay. So as I always state, the side of the road isn't the place to fight your court battle. You want to fight your court battles inside of the court. The officer may be wrong. Hey, in some cases, you may be wrong. But there's one place to find out, and that one place is not the side of the road because it may not work out for you every time. Let's keep watching the rest of this video.
Right. Here y'all go. Nobody did a test to see if it's 50 feet. They just said from the corner of their eyes that the light is out. He put us over, said he putting us over for the light being out. Don't worry, I'm going back to Memphis tomorrow. I stay way far away from y'all. Ain't got to worry about it, but I will be putting that paperwork on y'all before I leave. Don't worry about it. You don't got, look how small you is. You shouldn't be saying nothing to nobody. Man, the wind blowing, man. Put some more weight on, man. Yeah, you too. Have an even worse one. They keep pulling us over about the headlight out. He said the headlight is out. Then he put us over when he said, well, it's not out. It's just not bright enough. This is officer car number 65. I can finally do this, y'all. I was being cool at first because I had to stay down here, but I done moved on back to my city, man. Officer number 85, the same one, and 52. And we got some black on mark car over there. We're gonna see all the faces of these guys right here. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. Look at them. We is. I'm having a great day. I'm not driving. I'm a passenger. I'm a passenger safe. Okay. We free to go. We free to stay, right? Yeah. He hate that. He hate that. Hopkinsville. You won't see me again. Hopkinsville. This is what Hopkinsville police do, y'all. This is what y'all pay taxes for. This is what you pay taxes for. This is what y'all taxpayer citizens paying for. This is how the police treat you. This is how they talk to you and treat you. That man just kind of told me look up Mimms versus some shit talking about some he could pull me out the car and detain me for no reason because it's a traffic stop. Man, that's what that type of shit they'll tell you. I asked that man for his badge number. He told me this ain't TikTok.
It ain't?
I know, it's real life. Yeah. But y'all gonna be on TikTok. You gonna be on TikTok though. Yeah, you're gonna be on there. The clowns of TikTok.
Hey, look, y'all are free to go.
Hey man, we free to stay too, right? Are you forcing us to leave? We can't stay here in public? I thought so. Bye. 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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Fuck, boy. Yeah, they feelings, police. They get their feelings hurt. Get out your feelings. Get out your feelings, little bitches. I know it. They want to lock me up so bad. Hold the camera, baby, while I get out and do me some stretching.
Granted, was this harassment? Of course it was. I mean, both headlights are working. All right. I'm going to pull you over with both headlights working, but one's a little dim. So I'm going to pull you over, and then 5 other police cars are going to pull up, and we're going to ask you to step out of the car. Hopefully we can find something. Again, this is like a pretextual stop. Okay. I'm going to find something small, minor, to see if I can just get in deeper, to get inside of your car. This is what police officers do. It's called getting inside of the vehicle. Find a way to get inside the vehicle. That was the way, you know, it was stated inside of the department. Find a way to get inside the vehicle. And that's what these cops were doing. But again, I want to make sure you guys actually pay attention to everything that's stated in these cases. For example, Pennsylvania v. Mimms. There were 3 judges who felt that the other judges gave too much discretion to the police officers just to get you out of the car for any reason. That's why they're doing it. That's why Pennsylvania v. Mimms is their go-to, because they understand the wiggle room that they were given. And that's why the other 3 justices felt as though these cops are going to use anything to start getting the drivers out of the vehicles. But in this particular case, it's not about the driver. It's about the passenger. Pennsylvania v. Mimms is more so talking about a driver, although it probably could relate to the passenger as well, but it's more so talking about the driver. Maryland v. Wilson focuses directly on the passenger. Can a cop ask the passenger or order the passenger out of the vehicle? Yes. And the courts have allowed that as well. So here's the thing. Can he order you out as a passenger? According to Maryland v. Wilson, yes. Do you have to then identify if no crime has been committed? No. You can tell me to step out. Okay, where's your ID? What crime have I committed? You may be asking me to step out because there's something in your mind going on and you're trying to make sure the driver doesn't make this movie style getaway and, you know, kill 5 people in the process. Whatever your crazy logic may be. Okay, I stepped out. Do I have to now give you my identification? Not if I'm not being suspected of committing a crime or have committed a crime. If you haven't suspected me of that, I still don't have to identify. But understand and don't get into the back and forth with police officers believing, hey, I don't have to step out of the car, because most cases it might not end well in your particular situation. We've seen it end well in this video, but please remember, you know, we should be doing these type of videos because we actually care what happens to the people. I actually care. So I'm asking you this. Please remember, it doesn't end this way every time. Also remember, what I read earlier concerning the cases were not my words. They were literally copy and pasted, and I read to you what came from the courts. So if you disagree, it's not me you're disagreeing with, it's what the court stated. I'm only telling you. Do I disagree with what the court stated? I do. But at the current time, it's what they stated, and it's what's happening. So just make sure you're being careful. Record the police, and always know your rights. With that being said, We the People University, signing off. Be sure to visit WeThePeopleUniversity.com, where you can find our latest YouTube videos, more about myself, why I left the police department, merch, and more. If you have a police encounter that you would like highlighted, visit our website and click the Submit Videos tab Fill out the video's form submission so that we can hold these tyrants accountable. And if you guys still haven't purchased my book, Living in the World of Tyranny, you can do so at WeThePeopleUniversity.com by clicking digital copy to read it right on your phone, or you can buy the hard copy or the paperback directly from Amazon. Also, be sure to pick up your free ebook to give you tips and tricks on how to deal with cops when you encounter them. And for those of you who are still trying to learn your basic rights, register for our course to learn how to deal with police so that your rights are not violated when you encounter cops. All this and more at WeThePeopleUniversity.com.